Okay, super excited. This is our new HD kit, 4 inches for the 2500 and the 3500 HDs from a 20 and newer platform. Steve here has designed this kit to run at 4 inches, and he's gonna give us some details about what makes this 4-inch kit such a great kit for the market. Steve, what do we got on this front 4-inch kit?
So obviously cross members are a full 4 inches of drop, front and rear. We integrated a new 3/16 thick skid plate that's fully formed around the differential to fully protect it. Well, with the differential being the lowest point there, we wanted to make sure that it was protected if you were to hit anything while you were off-roading, fire road, or even just driving down the highway, a piece of wood. We wanted to make sure that it was definitely surrounded so that that lower section would have protection.
So you're telling me this front cross member, rear cross member, we got a drop of 4 inches between these bolts right here, front and back.
Yes, so we dropped the cross member down a full 4 inches. We made the spindle 4 inches taller. That way we wouldn't have to drop down any of the steering components, changing any of the geometry. We also chose to drop the lower A-arms directly down. We didn't have any poke added to the width of the front end. So the track width stays exactly the same as it was stock. Doing this the way we did, we engineered this spindle for maximum clearance on this new flexible tie rod that we came out with, as well as the sway bar end link. Your factory 20-inch or larger wheel will fit on this. You don't have to cut or trim anything.
I'd run a spacer also on that factory wheel. You can bolt it straight on, 20-inch factory wheel.
Correct. There's no spacer needed. It'll go right on there. Actually, with our factory 20-inch wheel on this truck, we had just over an inch of clearance on the upper. So if you wanted to put a wider tire, more aggressive tire on your stock wheel, you have an extra inch of clearance in here to be able to allow that.
From the factory tire bulge to the spindle right here in this area.
Correct.
You had that space.
Which normally is the contact spot, right? Where it will touch. So we designed this spindle so that we could have the maximum amount of offset, still allowing for all the factory geometry, turning radius, drivability. One of the things, by not pushing the wheel out any, keeping it sucked in, it allowed us to run, I believe this truck has a 18 by 9 with a 5 3/4 backspace wheel, 37 1250 tire. We had to do minimal trimming on this front corner and just a tiny bit here to get it to clear. And the truck was set at 4 inches, not cranked up any, so it doesn't push the wheel outside a bunch, allowing for minimal trimming and still keeping all that factory turning radius.
So that truck that he's talking about with 37s on an 18 by 9, 5 3/4 backspace is that truck right there, which we'll have another video on that truck specifically. So as we're doing the video on this truck, that's a GMC, this is a Chevy, and as we're going through, we're gonna explain, because this Chevy is getting a aggressive wide wheel and smaller tire, wider tire on it. So there's no confusion. We do have 2 black trucks. This one's gonna be a Chevy HD. The other one's a GMC. We'll do another video on the GMC to get more detailed if you're looking for that 37 1250 on an 18 by 9, 5 3/4 backspace wheel. We'll have that video on it. But this one right here is gonna get some wider wheels, which we'll talk about a little bit later in the video. But going on with all this, we are making this kit very universal to a guy that wants to start off with factory wheels with a little bit more aggressive tire, to a guy that wants to run an aftermarket wheel, whether it's a really wide stance or a slender stance with a taller tire, as a lot of people are wanting on these trucks. So huge benefits with the spindle design and the poke out. As Steve was explaining, you're not gonna get the typical where the front hub assembly is gonna stick out, you know, a 1/2 inch, 5/8 of an inch, or 3/4 of an inch in some of these kits that are out on the market. We're looking at 0 poke added to the front track width.
Yeah, that way I know some guys want to put like a little spacer in the back to widen the back out. This way it stays the same.
You don't have to do it with this.
You don't have to do it with it. It was one of the things we decided during the design process of designing this knuckle, that it would just make for an easier fit finish for the customer that wants to put a 4-inch on this truck. We're super happy with how this thing turned out. Factory alignment specs, turning radius, everything is like it was factory. Drivability is amazing. We did decide to do a no torsion drop on this kit because of a 4-inch kit. You can't fully get the torsion bar underneath the frame like you could in like a 6 or a 7-inch kit, or even like a 5-inch kit. So we left the torsion bar in its stock housing up in the frame like it was factory, and we decided to do a no torsion drop. Some people call it a cam that bolts onto your factory lower control arm. And then we machine a new hex. We build this unit so that your bar stays up in its stock spot. With that being said, the valving of the shock becomes a little bit of an issue because it needs a little bit more rebound than a truck that doesn't have this. Us building these shocks in-house now allowed us to fine-tune that. We invested in a shock dyno, as well as I call it the buddy your seat dyno, where you do drivability. So we did a bunch of different valving to get this truck to perform and ride like it does now. We're able to do that because we're building the shock actually in-house now. So really excited about that.
So let me reiterate, he just talked about the shocks, but he also was talking about this non-torsion bar drop setup. The key to this is that a lot of kits on the market that say that they're 4 to 5, 4.5 inches, 5 inches. The problem that comes across with these 2011 and newer trucks is that this cross member right here, where the torsion bar goes through this factory, okay, if you drop down the actual torsion bar cross member down 4 inches exactly, the torsion bar would interrupt and run right into this cross member. So essentially you cannot have a true 4-inch lifted draw, the actual cross members can't be at 4 inches without having a non-torsion bar drop. Otherwise it would sit here and really just interrupt right there. So a lot of the kits on the market say that they're 4.5 inches, but they're about 5. And the key to that is if you do want a lifted truck taller than 4 inches, then that's cool. But if you're looking for exactly 4 inches and to accommodate for the factory ride quality, this is the way that you're going to have to achieve it, is going with a non-torsion bar to sit it at exactly 4 inches. And now you have 4 inches of ride height, all the factory angles, nothing is manipulated with angles and drivability at 4 inches.
Yeah, and doing that with this non-torsion drop, I feel like it doesn't really change a lot on the compression feel, but you need to be able to slow down that rebound. And we just couldn't find like a shock, that you could buy off the shelf and put on there. And then we wanted to be able to control that. That's why we decided to build these shocks in-house and valve them specifically for this application.
So one of the things on these lift kits for the IFS trucks is that you have to cut the cross member because the differential lowers down and it interrupts on the framing of the truck. A lot of people have a difficult time with cutting it because obviously there's just paper templates and just stuff that's just not favorable for you to have to cut the frame. But what do we include with our kit?
So again, yeah, you're correct. Having to take a paper template out of a sheet of paper and cut it out and follow the lines, cut the holes and then line it up and roll it over and then mark it on these frames, especially being waxed, is super difficult. It's kind of a pain. So this steel template, if you can imagine it sitting up like this, but obviously this side would be on the other side of this cross member. This piece is mimicking the end of this cross member right here. It sits on top of it. So this is your cut line. So when you're done following this cut line right here, and you pull it off, this section of the frame and this will all come off as one. So this becomes your cut template.
Once it's removed, you're gonna have this exact same piece right here mimicked out of the factory frame. There's no miscommunication on exactly what you're supposed to cut. It's direct one-to-one at that point.
There's no guessing. If you cut this on this cut line and you pull this off as one, you're gonna have plenty of clearance for the differential to be dropped down its full 4 inches.
So installers at shops are usually, savvy to doing this kind of stuff, but a do-it-yourselfer in your driveway that can do something like this, but sometimes get hiccuped on what are they doing it correctly? They don't want to mess up their factory frame. That template is going to drastically help them be confident on the install.
Yeah, there's going to be no guessing, or even the guy that has done it before, maybe he hasn't done one of our kits, Just the fact to be able to throw that up on the frame, and like with ours, we used a little air saw and just followed it all the way around and in no time cut it out.
So on the passenger side, we have this template right here, which just helps you, again, figure out exactly what piece of the factory that you have to cut out, and then you'll have the exact same piece of the factory frame, just like that one, in your hands once it's cut out. Pretty straightforward.
Up front, we decided to build a brand new sway bar in link. We call it a flexible link. It has a flexible joint top and bottom, so you don't have to use like a rubber bushing, which sometimes could squeak or rot out. A lot of times guys will just do like a drop down. We decided to just give you a brand new one, the ease of installation, plus it looks a lot cleaner. We do a factory brake line bracket on the upper up here. That moves your factory brake line over about 1.5 inches to 2 inches so that it has enough reach. Also what we did is on the back of the spindle, we machine a mount so that your factory brake hose will bolt back up so you don't have to try to like zip tie it to the spindle. We also do an Adele clamp over here for the ABS line. We machine and give you a bolt so you can secure it. That way all the lines are nice and tight. You can imagine this thing back here flopping around, maybe gets caught up on the sway bar end link, cause you some damage. And then in the instructions, we show you, hey, we throw a couple zip ties on these other loose lines just so everything's routed real nice and clean. That way there's no guessing during the install. You don't have to worry about, hey, what do I need to do with this? On this side, it comes with a big bulky factory bracket that comes off your spindle that you don't want to use anymore. So once you take it off, we tell you how to mount the new bracket to the back of the spindle, comes with all the hardware, and then it shows you how to run everything so it's nice and clean. So on this install, you can see it's got the factory upper control arm on this truck, which is completely fine. If you're just running the truck at 4 inches, it's adequate, it does the job. If you like the look of doing an upgraded control arm, you can do that as well at a 4-inch setting. Or if you decide you want to turn it up a little bit more or have a little bit more down travel, we do an upper control arm upgrade that you can put right onto this kit. It'll work as well.
So at 4 inches, 4.5 inches, totally fine with the factory upper control arm, but we're suggesting our upper control arm upgrade be more mandatory and suggest it at the 5 to 6 inch range.
Definitely, you're going to want it so you have the extra clearance on this downward travel stop that's here, so you're not touching it all the time. That's actually one of the reasons we decided to build the 4-inch kit, because a lot of guys in the HD, you do like a 2-inch leveling kit, which you can stretch at 2 inches. CV angles and tie rods will take that. Any more than that, it does jeopardize the ride, and some guys will tell you, hey, just put an upper control arm on it so you get the extra travel. But if you watch that truck driving like maybe a swooping left turn as the truck rolls, it pins that side out. It actually takes and increases the toe. Everything on that front geometry starts to lay over, putting a lot more stress on ball joints and tie rods and everything else. We don't make a kit, a leveling kit like a 3-inch. We decided to go straight to a 4-inch lift kit. So in the rear, what comes with this kit right out of the box is a 1.8 inch tall lift block. We also give you 4 1/4-inch thick leaf spring shims. It comes with 2 center pins. You can put 2 shims per side, or if you just want to use one to get an extra 1/4 inch of height, or you can stack them to get an extra 1/2 inch of height. It comes in it. The reason we did that is some of these trucks sit a little bit different. I may want the truck to sit completely flat. You may want the truck to be up a little bit in the rear, depending if you're always pulling a trailer. Maybe you have a truck cap or a lid on the back of it. That handles just about everything for the 4 to 5 inch lift kit, depending on how you like the truck to sit if you turn the factory torsion bar up. If you want to take it to 6 inches, we have a bigger block and U-bolt kit that you can put in the back to accommodate that. So the kit also comes with 4 new shocks. We already talked about the fronts. The rears, we decided to give you a new shock so we could change the valving to control the shock better. Sometimes you don't necessarily have to change it since we're only going up a couple inches in the back. We decided to give you a brand new shock in the rear. It's our M84 series that we build in-house, and we valve it specific to this truck. So it's not like a generic shock that just happens to be the right length. We spent a ton of time an investment into the valving of this shock and performance. So we're really happy with how this truck rides, drives, whether you're pulling a trailer or it's an everyday driver or you're taking it down a fire road. I feel like we've come up with a good valving that's all around for everyone.
To wrap this up, this is a one part number, buys everything that you need to set it at 4 inches, up to 5 inches, perfectly fine, depending on whatever your personal needs are for that perfect stance of the front to rear height. We really want to achieve that allowance for you in our kit, and it comes with everything, right, Steve?
Yeah, everything that you need to complete this project, like you see what we just went over, you get in the kit. It comes with color picture instructions, the hardware is bagged and labeled, it comes with 4 shocks, everything that you're going to need. This is a kit that's definitely, if you're a guy that likes to work in your garage or in your driveway and you feel capable and you have assorted tools, you probably could do this in your driveway in a weekend. It's definitely not hard. Any of the kits on the market that require a differential drop or the front cross member or rear cross member to be dropped has to cut that rear cross member. Everyone's kit on the market. We decided just to give you a steel template for the ease of the installer to be able to bolt it on there and follow the cut line so there's no guessing, just to make it easier on the guy that's doing the install. So it'll achieve, the 4 to 5 inches. Like we talked about in the rear, you have a little bit of adjustability depending on what you like the stance to be, or the rake, some guys will call it.
So realistically, if you're a do-it-yourselfer, the only major thing that you're gonna have to possibly borrow from a parts house or something like that, or a friend, is the torsion bar key removal tool. That's usually something that someone doesn't have. But after that, if you've got all your regular tools and have larger wrenches and stuff like that for the factory bolts that you have to disassemble all the factory parts from and everything, you can do it with the instructions and any of the guidance that you need from us. You can give us a call, talk to any of our technicians, or even hit us up on social media and we can help you out on there. But do-it-yourselfers are welcome with this kit.
Yeah, 100%. This is a do-it-yourselfer. I call it driveway friendly. Go down to AutoZone or your local auto parts store and rent yourself a torsion bar key tool. And if you have the general hand tools in your garage, you can definitely do this. If you have any questions about the kit that you saw today, you could reach out to us at the shop. Any of the sales guys would be more than glad to answer any questions. Reach out to us at social media. We can answer your questions. Or if you're looking for somebody who to buy it from, we can send you to an authorized dealer to purchase your McGaughy kit today.